You
Hi guys, the new Home Secretary James Cleverly was invited onto Sky News to talk about immigration, and in particular the asylum backlog. Now, his predecessor, Suella Braverman, and her deputy, the Immigration Minister, Robert Jenrick, had at the last minute decided, let's actually start processing asylum claims. Robert Jenrick and Suella Braverman were against this, it seems, at the beginning, but then changed their mind towards the end. James Cleverly was asked about this, and his response was interesting.
you brought down the numbers by deploying an additional 1,200 caseworkers. What was stopping you doing that previously?
Well, I don't know. I can only deal
That's an honest answer.
So I can only deal with the.
It's not an honest answer because he's lying here. Obviously, he does know. He knows it was a political decision not to process the claims. Robert Jenrick had said it himself on a number of occasions. He said in Parliament and outside Parliament that if we process the claims, it will take away that deterrent that we have in place. It will create a pull factor, which is completely false. And he changed his mind later on. But that's what he said. It was a pull factor. It was working against their deterrent. That's why he wasn't processing the claims. And then he changed his mind for some reason.
Department that I took over when I was appointed.
Should have been done earlier then,
when I was appointed Home Secretary. Well, we've seen that it's worked. It has worked. Was that not the question you asked? Well, when I got there, we had a very, very, I think, a very effective leadership. Real targets. I pay tribute actually to Robert Jenrick, my predecessor, who was in large part responsible for some of these changes. We saw more people, better processes, stronger leadership, real targets and accountability. And what we saw was a very significant increase in the speed with which we processed these applications with no loss of quality. And as I say, I pay tribute to Robert for very much driving that forward.
He should have got more caseworkers earlier, shouldn't he?
Well, look, we've seen it worked. So now we know it works.
Yes,
it's going to stay in place. And as we process applications in the future, we have now got the larger number of people and a better process.
Why do you not want to say, yes, he should have done it earlier?
Well, look, because I'm not going to criticise stuff that I wasn't directly involved in.
I mean, but the point
is, Rob was responsible for putting this process in place. It's an effective process, and it's done exactly what we wanted it to do by clearing that backlog.
Okay. This is very interesting because it seems that maybe the Conservative Party are moving back to the centre here ahead of the next general election. The rhetoric around immigration seems to be dampened a bit, and this whole thing about culture wars seems to be on the back burner. Now, I could be wrong. This could change as we get closer to the election. But I think people within Number 10 believe we actually need to move back to the centre because we've lost ground to Labour. There's no point fighting Reform UK or trying to move to the far right to deal with that challenge. Our real problem is Labour. So if we can put in place policies, or if we can look like we're more moderate on issues like immigration, perhaps we can stop some of that leakage to the left, to the centre. And that could be what they're doing. But on the issue of James Cleverly has been presented as a future Conservative Party leader. He's terrible. Look at the way he does interviews. He would be a terrible leader, and perhaps it'd be great if he's leader of the Conservative Party in opposition, because he would maintain the Conservative Party in opposition. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.